Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And hi Hetzy. Ooh. Hello. 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 Stop kissing me. Okay. Okay guys, sorry. So it's just tape, don't worry. Welcome back to my channel. It's been a week since I posted, so now I have to post again. But really, as I told you, well, I think I told you like 2 videos ago, my life is either going so fast, so hectic, so much assignments to do, or it's just really boring. So right now it's kind of boring. So I mean, I don't really have like any good videos for you to do. I'm sick. I was thinking about doing a listening to new songs that I've been hearing and that I like, but I mean, I'm not too cute right now to be dancing and lip singing and all that, so not that. And so I was thinking, hear me out, I was thinking reading a book to you guys. And I was thinking this because some people might not really enjoy it, but some people maybe do like hearing books being read out to them. And I'm sorry that I'm like halfway through already, but I mean, maybe you can just still kind of pick up and enjoy it. And plus it's like due like this Friday or next Friday. Like I have to return it, so I need to start reading it again. So yeah, this is called Rebel, Bully, Geek, Pariah. Honestly, I've never even heard that word until I started reading this, but yeah. And it's by Erin Jade Lange. Right here. Can you read that? Erin Jade Lange. Okay. Alright, and I'll kind of read you at least like the kind of background. My bookmark fell out. Okay, wait, I think I have it placed. Okay, so I'll read you the little like background intro here. So, the rebel. Once popular, Andy is now dreadlocked, tattooed wild child. The bully. York torments everyone who crosses his path, especially his younger brother Boston. The geek. Tired of being bullied, Boston is obsessed into getting into an Ivy League college. And the pariah. Choosing to be invisible has always worked for Sam, until tonight. So when Andy, York, Boston, and Sam find themselves hiding in the woods after a party gets busted by the cops, they hop into the nearest car they see and take off. The first decision of many in a night that will change their lives forever. By the light of day, these 4 would never be caught dead together, but when their getaway gets a dangerous turn, sticking together may be the only way they could survive. So yeah, it's pretty good so far. Let me start reading. Right now, they made a decision to go to like one of their parents' cabins houses, and they're kind of just freaking out. They don't really know what to do, but they just are deciding to like kind of sleep, but they can't sleep, so this is them talking. Andy stared past me toward the cabin's back wall of glass overlooking the lake. Let's go swimming, I snorted. Right, yeah. We'll just take a dip in the middle of this. Totally normal. York shared my decision. We're not getting in the lake in the middle of the night, wacko. But Boston sat up straight. His interest piqued. His interest piqued. Oh, come on. York shoved his brother's shoulder. Stay focused. Boston ignored him and got to his feet. But what if it's our last chance to swim before we're locked up? We're not getting locked up, I said. More of habit at this point than conviction. Boston shrugged. It's still better than sitting around in fear freaking out. I'm not freaking out, York said. I am. But you're not sleeping either, Indy pointed out, and she stood next to Boston. Do these people have any spare swimsuits? Boston frowned. No. Mom took all of that home with her laundry. Well, that settles that. Andy clapped once more and rubbed her hands together. Skinny dipping it is, then. I opened my mouth to protest, but suddenly York was up on the floor, standing with the other two crazies. His eyes slid to me, curled up in the chair. Maybe a swim could help clear our heads. Boston gaped at him. Really? But you never go in the... Shut it, York said. One more word and you'll end up like my car keys, at the bottom of the river. Boston's jaw closed with a snap. Then they all turned to me, waiting for their fourth. I wanted to tell them to go on without me, but I could see in their eyes the same feeling I had in my gut. That was all of us or none of us kind of night. Tonight, I'd always been one of the none. Tonight, I couldn't deny it felt good to be a part of the all. Fine, I grumbled, but I'm keeping my underwear on. The lake was surprisingly cold, despite the steamy summer air. Goosebumps erupted all over my body the instant my feet touched the water, making my arms' hair stand on the end of the prickles of stand on end, like the prickles of a startled porcupine. I shivered and crossed my arms over my chest. I wish I was wearing something cuter than great-grandma panties and a plain beige bra. The moon had done me a small favor by hiding behind a cloud so no one could get a good look at my ugly undies and hat hair, but that cloud was moving, and in a second both the moon and I would be exposed. Get in the water, I commanded my body, but the goosebumps prickled in protest. What are you waiting for? Andy shouted from farther out in the lake. She had done a running jump off at the end of the dock and resurfaced screaming and laughing all at once, her wild hair spraying water. Now she was splashing around like a mermaid, totally at ease. I wanted to be brave and wild like Andy. I wanted to be at ease. The first shot of moonlight hit the water as the curtain of clouds above parted. I took a deep breath, ran 3 long strides into the water, and dove. The freeze of 1,000 icicles stabbed me all at once, shocking my body in that crazy way that makes you feel like you're gasping even though you're holding your breath. It demanded all of my It demanded all of my senses, stealing attention from the parts of me that were focused on fear and worry. Baptism by icy lake water. By the time I came up for air, I was in a different place on a different night under different circumstances. I let out a whoop of acceleration and felt something more than my trapped breath released with it. I felt light for the first time all night, and it wasn't just the water buoying me. Andy answered my cry with one of her own within seconds, and we were both howling like wolves. Keep it down, Boston called from the dock, but a second later he matched our volume with the ear-splitting crack of a belly flop onto the lake. Ow! 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 Andy winced. That sounded like it hurt. It did, judging by the pained look on Boston's face when he broke the surface. Next time, he gasped, cannonball. I laughed and Andy waved at the shore where York was standing in his boxes, his toes barely in the water. What are you waiting for? She called. Yeah, York, Boston cried, and his voice was mocking. What are you waiting for? Boss flipped up both his middle fingers in response. He can't swim, Boston said as 3 of us waded back into the cellars. I raised my eyebrows. Really? Screw you, Brooke said. I can swim. As if to prove it, he took a few tentative steps into the lake, but he froze at ankle deep. Andy and I splashed up to meet him. It's just my laptop. Andy and I splashed to meet him while Boston stubbornly stayed waist high in the water. Let's see it then, Boston taunted. They stared at each other down in a silent face-off as Andy and I stood on the sidelines. You can't, can you? I asked. York twitched, but he didn't look at me. How can your parents bring you to a lake every year and not teach you how to swim? I said, appalled. Not that I'm in any position to point fingers at irresponsible parents, but still. They taught us, Boston said, but one of us had a little incident, turning upside down in a kayak and suddenly forgot how. We shouldn't have been fishing from a kayak in the first place, York snapped. It was 10 years ago. Get over it. My head swung back and forth between the brothers, not sure whose side to take. So wait, Andy said. She propped a hand on her hip where a tattoo of 3-headed snakes slithered out from under her black lace thong and up her side to her rib cage. Are you telling me that all those kids you push around have have to do to get away with you is jump in a pool? I don't push anyone around, York said. Then he grinned. But if one of them did jump in a pool, I'd go in after them. Come in after me then, Boston said, and this time his voice was inviting, almost pleading. Just to hear where you can still stand. I decided then that I was with Boston. It's warmer once you get all the way in, I coaxed, motioning for York to follow me deeper into the water. It's the air that feels cold now. Look, I held one arm out. I have goosebumps. York took tentative steps toward me. I can't see. He matched his forward steps with back ones of my own. Come closer then, I teased. Oh, I see the game now, player. I laughed. Come on, all of us or none of us. He hesitated, then step by step he worked his way in, so close I could almost read the cursive name inked over his art. Amelia Andreen, maybe? I tried not to look long enough to be too obvious. We waited deeper until we were level with Boston, who smiled and glided a few feet farther than from shore. Don't mess with me, York warned. She did it, Boston pointed at me. She's cuter than you. They probably couldn't see me blush in the thin moonlight, but I ducked my face in the water anyway. Just a few more feet, Boston coached his brother. If you're up to something, so help me, I will drop you. Boston raised his arms in a gesture of peace, then lowered them, palms up to the water's surface in front of him. You don't drop me, I won't drop you. It was an invitation to learn to swim all the way we all learned. On our stomachs in the water, cradled in trustworthy arms so we couldn't sink. York inched closer to Boston, then paused to cast a sidelong look at Andy and me. Oh, of course he didn't want to be cradled in front of a couple of girls. I turned my back on the boys and moved to the shore, dragging Andy with me by the elbow. But, she persisted, I want to watch the Yeti swim. I tugged harder on her arm and it didn't let go until our feet touched grass. We sat there, huddled, wrapped in some towels, when Boston managed to scratch up and watch the boys in the distance. York was prone in the water, but Boston giving orders like head up and kick your feet and think of your arms like a propeller. Apparently, swimming was little like riding a bike, and that you never really forgot how to do it. I'm sorry guys, I just got like a call from Tokyo, Japan. I don't know what that was about. Anyways, okay, so Bart who? York pulled back a fist and lunged as if to strike, but the last second he pulled up short and dropped to the ground instead, crouching with his head in his hands. Wait, Andy said quietly. Bart Abernathy? Was that you? Abernathy. I rolled the name around in my head. It sounded familiar somehow, but I couldn't say where I heard it. Though as I pictured it spelled out in my mind, I knew exactly where I'd seen it. York tugged at the neck of his shirt and touched the tattoo with the tips of his fingers, and Boston turned away, shame in his face. Somehow it looked to me like Boston had been the one to throw the punch. Who is Bart Abernathy? I asked. Without lifting his head, York muttered, was. Sorry? He looked up finally, and I was stunned to see his eyes were ready to spill over with tears. Who was Bart Abernathy? I lifted a shoulder, confused. York locked eyes with Andy just for a second, taking in her startled expression. Then he stared for a long time at the back of Boston's head, as if willing him to turning around. Finally, his eyes came back to me. Bart Abernathy is the guy I killed. Wow. And then chapter 23. That was crazy. Okay. So what started as a fun dip came into
Did you get a call from somebody?
Yeah, from Tokyo, Japan.
You should have answered.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked my video. I'm sorry it's not the most, out there kind of video on YouTube, but thank you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.
Subscribe to 9 Doge.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe.